Hello, my name is Kingsies. I'm an ambient, introspective, existential poet, writer, filmmaker, director, and just creative in general. And I come on YouTube to talk about whatever topics cross my mind. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a safe space where I make people feel seen, heard, and validated because I felt what it was like to be devoid of those things. And what I want to talk about today is actually something that I've, I guess I've thought about it, dealt with it for like many years of my life, but I never actually had a discussion about it in a setting like this. So the topic for today is the absurdity of the human condition. The human condition is something that I've written about, but I've never really defined it before. Um, but to me, it's just the paradoxical nature of humans, right? A lot of the things we do doesn't make sense. Like, for example, like loss. Loss is deeply painful, and our instincts would tell us to avoid that because it causes us harm. Yet, we need each other. We need connection to survive. I feel like that's one of the many paradoxes and just contradictions of human nature. Um, but when it comes to the absurdity of it, um, my problem mostly lies around the existence part, the existential. Um, and it's really just like, it's always been hard for me to kind of grasp because humans are so self aware. And I'm somebody who's like hyper aware of like everything. And that has been detrimental in lots of ways, but it's true. And I just can't help but think about how crazy it is that I'm alive and that I'm made of flesh and bone and all these muscles, and there's these little microorganisms that are fighting to protect me, to make sure that my body stays up and running. And it's just, there's so much going on to keep me here. And just like the concept of dying, to permanently be shut down and have no idea what happens next is just absurd. The real absurd part about it is that I know that it's going to happen. Like, if you think about animals, right? They're not thinking about, oh, like one day I will cease to function. It's something that just kind of happens for them. And I'm not going to say that like it's, definitive. Maybe there are some animals that actually do think about that. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't think we can really know what they're thinking. But ideally, they're they're very instinctual. They're primordial. They just do what animals do, right? I gotta eat, I'm gonna go find food. I gotta poop, I'm gonna poop. I gotta find a mate, I'm gonna go find a mate. It's just they just follow their programming. But humans, it's so weird. It's like you're given a manual, like you can read it. Instead of the manual just being like built into your head, it's like you can kind of like read it and see like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But wait, this this can happen. This will happen. And to just be walking around aware of that is kind of insane to me. Especially like just like when you, I guess this is like Sonder, right? But when you think about other people and it's like you also probably have these thoughts, or you have had them before. And like it's just like a mutual thing. Like that's I think that's what really binds us all together. It's just the fact that we were all born and we will all die. So just walking around and being aware that I will cease to exist, that the person in front of me will cease to exist, that their child will cease to exist, in any kind of way, right? Like, so not everybody gets to die of old age, and I've always felt like that is the goal, um, mostly because I've heard somebody say it, and it just made sense to me. That is ultimately the goal, to die of natural causes, and not everybody gets to do that. So being consciously aware of the fact that you will be undone, that there will be bugs crawling out of your skull, eating you alive, or eating you dead, but just eating your flesh. Like, I'm alive right now. I'm literally alive in front of you, thinking about these things, talking about how I will be getting eaten alive, or not alive, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I will be consumed. My face won't look like this anymore. It'll have holes in it, and there will be bugs on it, and or it might be filled with like embalming fluid, with just like like a stiff frame because of rigor mortis. It's just, we can think about that and process that, and it's just like, what? Why? And I'm not gonna go too deep, because like that, I feel like that the whys is gonna take us on a whole rabbit hole. I don't think I want to do that in this video. But like, it's just like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm aware of all this stuff that's gonna happen to me, and you know the people around me, and I realize it's like, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And even with my mom, right? Like, she's still alive. She's she's gonna turn 62 in 2026. And just the thought of her not being around anymore, I've thought about it a lot. At some point I've grieved her, um, because she got really sick a couple times. And you know how older people can be. They just don't take care of themselves like how they should. But they were just like, what? Like, what do you mean she'll be gone forever? And I'm just supposed to, like, eventually be okay with that. Because, like, I will, right? Like, that always happens. I'm not saying entirely, right? Like, I fully believe that you never heal fully from grief. Um, Same thing with, like, heartbreak. You never really get over it. It kind of just, like, becomes dormant inside of you, and the pain, the heartache just becomes duller until it's so dull you can't really feel it anymore until you do. But yeah, it's just like, we're just supposed to eventually just become okay with never seeing our loved ones or our friends again, or even yourself again. Just being okay with not living anymore. It's just so, it just kind of feels like uh it's like a slap in the face in a way. It's like, just humans are just told everything, basically. Like, you just know. And I feel like, okay, it's not, you don't know everything, but you know the important stuff, right? Your time is not promised, and you will cease to exist one day. And I'm just talking about from the perspective of being alive. I'm not talking about religious, you know, um, ideologies or anything. You know, just like from a purely realistic standpoint, you will not exist anymore, in the sense of, like, this is a one-time thing. It'll never happen again. And even if you believe in reincarnation, you still won't be you next time. So you get what I'm saying. The thought of losing my mom, and being able to realize that I will lose her while I still have her, and to just look at her face and just be like, you won't move around anymore. You know? Like, I don't know. That's just weird to me. And there's like nothing you can really do but submit to it, I guess. I don't know. I just think sometimes how there's like a version of me in the future that lost his mom and is grieving about it still, or lost his mom 20 years ago and got over it but still feels it. Because I know it's coming, but I think it's just one of those things in life that you can never really prepare for, and that makes it even more scary. Um, but I don't want to lose her, and it's just hard because I know I will, and there's been a lot of scares where I thought I would, but I got lucky. She got lucky. Just being able to be consciously aware of the fact that everything around me will crumble to pieces in one way or another is ridiculous. It's like, what? Like, huh? But it is. It's just how things are. Those of us that are still here, we are going through it together. You know, we still have ourselves, our loved ones, and I think that's one of the best things about being a human. We can just experience everything together, right? Our losses, we can love together, grow together. Um, I hope I put something into words that you were struggling to do yourself, or it just made you feel better, or seen, heard, and that's it from me. So, my name is Kingsies, and I'm out.